What is happening, guys? It's your main man, Matt, from the DFS 5-pack, rocking it solo Wednesday, August 18th. Big ups to Ryan for covering the early slate. I got some family stuff going on today, so I've been a little bit tied up. I'm excited to get on here and talk about this main slate. I know the video is a little bit late. I will make it short and sweet to make sure you guys have time to watch it. And yeah, coming off a good night last night, so I'm excited to get back on the horse this evening. We got a fun one to break down, so let me get to it. All righty, so pitching options are plentiful tonight. Starting at the top, Freddie Peralta looks like a real good option in St. Louis against a right-handed heavy Cardinals lineup. You know, back to throwing his full allotment of pitches. 3 straight really good games. A lot to like about Peralta in all formats. He looks good. Actually not getting as much love as you might think he deserves because of the other pitchers on the slate, specifically Charlie Morton and Shohei Ohtani, who are just picking up a ton of love. With other guys also, getting ownership. Alrighty, so after that we got Lance Lynn, who is in a tougher spot against Oakland, but also not getting much love. He's been more up and he's been more up and down recently, but his upside on any given day is right there with anyone on this slate. And at low ownership, I'm interested as a GPP pivot. I don't think he's a must, and I don't have to go there in tournaments, but interested if nothing else. Charlie Morton getting a ton of ownership in a real good spot in Miami against the Marlins. He's priced up at 9,700, but he's been solid, and he makes sense. Last time he was in this spot, he put up a 31 spot, so I get why he's getting so much love. Not that I don't like him here. I'm trying to stack Miami. I'm not sure I'll use a chalky Morton with guys like Peralta, Lynn, Flaherty, Ohtani, all there. But he's certainly in play. And in cash games, I'd probably be just locking him in. Speaking of Flaherty, I've always been a Flaherty fan. Second start back after missing a couple months on the IL. He's just a horse. I'm a huge Flaherty fan. The concerns are still a little bit there. He threw 81 pitches last time. I'm sure he's not going to go like over 100, but I expect we get to see 90 plus here. And, it's not the best spot in the world against Milwaukee, but he's, can dominate any lineup. And I kind of feel a pitcher's duel here, Peralta and Flaherty. Pavetta, no thank you. Ohtani surely in play in a really good spot in Detroit against the Tigers. 8,600. His strikeout upside's real. Coming in as one of the most popular pitchers on the slate behind Morton. Morton's actually getting a ton of love. Everyone else is second to him. But Ohtani's going to get ownership. He makes sense. I think I slightly prefer Peralta and Flaherty, but it's close. Ohtani's wildly in play for me. Wildly in play in all formats, that is. All right, after that, Cole Irvin, no thank you. Zach Greinke, no thanks. Yarborough in long relief, nah. Heaney, no. Marco is getting a lot of love coming off, maybe the best start of his career in this same spot at home against Texas. And Marco's going to be popular here. People are going to see that game log. They love picking on Texas. I could see using a couple Texas bats against Marco for me in tournaments. In cash games, I think Marco's a look. Skubal. I was on the Angels last night. They did me really well. Joe Adell monster grand slam in the 9th. As far as tonight goes, yeah, I think Skubal's in play. He's a big strikeout guy. He can also get hit. So if you want to pull a couple Angels bats against him, I have no arguments with that either. But his upside at 7,400 against a pretty weak lineup is definitely intriguing. Brubaker, definitely not. Singer, no. Luzardo, definitely not. Mitch White. He's 6K. Probably not going to go that deep in the game, but the Dodgers don't have like a loaded bullpen right now. So I think you could do worse than Mitch White at 6K. See what price. How long price went last night? Only 67 pitches. Not excited about Mitch White. After that, I've been impressed with this Ranger Suarez. 82 pitches last time out. It looks like they're building him a little bit more. He was facing the Dodgers, obviously a much tougher spot than in Arizona. I mean, listen, he's 5,700. I think you could do worse if you want to spend down. Watkins, no. Fulte, just saw him in this spot. Hits really well. Not buying what he's selling, but Seattle is coming in with a ton of ownership, over-owned. I could see getting to Fulte in tournaments, even though I definitely wouldn't feel good about it. Castellanos, no. Bullpen game for Arizona, it looks like, and their bullpen sucks. And then Lewis Head's just an opener. So if I'm making one lineup right now, in cash games, I think you go more. In cash games, I think you go Morton, Ohtani pretty easily. In tournaments, all these guys are in play. Man, I am intrigued by Lynn also because the best, all of Oakland's best hitters are righty except for Matt Olson. I also like Flaherty though. So let's go Flaherty and Peralta for me right now, and then we'll, if we need to change it, we need to change it. So as far as offenses go, Pivetta against Heaney, two guys that are definitely volatile. That's for sure. Looks like both teams are getting a little bit of love, but nothing dramatic at all. I know Luke Voigt's been pretty candid about wanting to continue to play while, even with the addition of Anthony Rizzo, and he's playing well right now, double digits in 3 of 4. He just looks good. 3,500, he's a nice piece of the Yankees. As far as the Red Sox go, well, let me talk more on some Yankees. If you like the Yankees here, I get it. It's not like they're coming in as chalk. Other more desirable offenses. They don't really stand out to me. They've got a ton of power. Any given day, they can go off, so they're always in play for me. Not sure I'll get there tonight. I'm interested more so in the Red Sox just because I feel like Heaney gives them more power than does Pivetta. I respect Pivetta more than Heaney. I'd rather pick on Heaney. So Devers not going to get any love in a lefty-on-lefty matchup. I always like him in spots like this. He crushes in Yankee Stadium. JD against the lefty. He's turned it on as of late. Kike, they added Schwarber to their lineup. Renfroe. This whole lineup's in play for me. I like Boston here. They're not my favorite stack on the board, but they're in play for me. I don't like them quite as much as Atlanta, who is the team I like a lot here. Lazaro just has not looked great. Kind of finagled his way to a W last time out against the Cubs because Alzolay was so bad. He was better, I guess, as that game continued, but look at those walks. I mean, you are asking for trouble walking guys against the Braves like that. And Braves, this game was like a 0-0 game until the 8th inning when the Braves finally came through. And I think they go off tonight. They're one of, if not my favorite stack on the board. Freddie, in a lefty-on-lefty matchup. Just talked about it with Devers. Won't get as much love as he probably should. Albies crushes lefties. Jorge Soler, Adam Duvall. These guys are cheap. I like them all. DR, no. Whole lineup's in play for me. Swanson, Riley. Hoping that the ballpark, people don't like going to Miami, keeps people off it, and I'm all about it here. Baltimore against Tampa. I think Baltimore is a little sneaky as far as pieces go, but not really interested in them as like a stack. And then Tampa, it's another day they're in play. Looks like they're not getting as much love as they necessarily should be getting, and they're just in play all over. Brandon Lau having an incredible year, 28 bombs now. He's just having a really good year, especially for DFS purposes. Now that they got Wander Franco in the lineup, it's just lethal. Cruz, Meadows, Rosarania, these guys are all good, facing a weak pitcher and an even weaker bullpen. So Tampa stack in play every day, and today is no exception. Angels and Tigers, Skubal against Ohtani. I mentioned you could use a couple of Angels bats against Skubal. Not excited about it, although I will say Adele, monster grand slam in the 9th in his last at bat. I could see him going on a tear now. I have some interest in him as a one-off for sure. Upton, if he's in the lineup, he's cheap as hell. He crushes left. He's going back to his old stomping grounds. Don't hate that. Can't use Ohtani, so scratch that. And then as far as the Detroit side goes, not interested. I mean, if Ohtani's bad, he's usually pretty wild. So listen, the Angels bullpen sucks. I mean, I've seen crazier things happen than a team like Detroit take down a slate like this, but not for me tonight, I'll say that. Milwaukee and St. Louis, I like the pitchers here, so I'm not really looking at the hitters. Milwaukee's hella expensive. St. Louis is not, but they're in an even worse spot, so no thank you. Seattle and Texas, Looks like Seattle's getting a ton of love. They're going to be overowned here, facing Fulte in Texas. It makes sense. They're pretty affordable. Kyle Seeger's expensive enough, but you can easily get him in. Haniger, 5K. These guys are pretty easy to roster on a slate like this. And against Fulte, they're going to get a lot of love. I'm not saying they don't deserve it, but in tournaments, I'm definitely going to back off. Like I mentioned, Fulte's even in play for me. And I'd rather go to a couple Texas guys against Marco Gonzalez, who is not pulling as much ownership as I'd necessarily want because you got Morton and Ohtani, but he's still going to get love. I mean, he's the best, quote-unquote, cheaper option, even though he's not, like, crazy cheap here. And he's coming he's not cheap at all, actually. That's probably why he's not getting love. Yeah, I mean, I expect him to be around 20% owned. So not that Texas doesn't jump out to me as a leverage stack, but I think they get to him a little bit here. Talked about Yanni Hernandez. He's been really good in the leadoff spot. We'll be back there again tonight. He runs. He's 2,400. So, yeah, give me him. And then you got the other usual suspects, Adolis Garcia. He started to be better as of late. Nothing like he was at the beginning of the year, but he's cheap. Don't hate it. Kind of for left was fine. But, yeah, more like a mini stack or one-off. So Hernandez being my favorite piece. Oakland and the White Sox. We got Lance Lynn against Cole Irvin. So, not looking at the A's here. I mean, I respect Lance Lynn. He did get hit a little bit last time out, but that was in the Field of Dreams game against the Yankees. The A's are about as potent as the Yankees, but better ballpark for Lindner in his home city in Chicago. So I like Lynn. I don't love the A stack. The A's are one of these teams like Toronto we talk about. They're in play every single day because of the upside of their lineup. So if I were making 150, I'd probably have a couple A stacks, but in smaller field tournaments, I won't use them here. I doubt it. They're expensive also for the guys you'd want to roster. But I think the White Sox are in play. They remind me of the Yankees here. Not getting a ton of love, not necessarily coming in crazy under-owned, but, I mean, they got a couple guys specifically now even more so with Jimenez and Robert back that crush lefties. Abreu, Anderson, Jimenez, Robert. I could see stacking up the White Sox here. They look good right now. They're in real good form. No issues with it at all. We got the Astros and the Royals. Greinke against Brady Singer. So Singer has good stuff. He's one of the better prospects, Royals prospects. He's one of the better pitching prospects in the Royals system. He definitely hasn't put it together. It reminds me a little bit of Mitch Keller. He's been better. He's had better, his upside starts have been better, but when he gets hit hard, coming off 2 rough ones. I like Houston. We'll have to wait and see what their lineup looks like, but people are kind of off them because they haven't been great for the masses recently, and I like teams like that. Brantley, Altuve, I mentioned I'd love Alvarez to be in there, but Correa, Gurriel, they're just not getting a ton of love. And one of these games, I think they go nuts, and not going to be shocked at all if it's against Brady Singer, even in a tougher ballpark, which is probably keeping their ownership down. Philly and the D-backs. As far as KC goes, not really looking at them against Greinke. Philly is in a really good spot, and they're getting a lot of love. It makes sense. Bryce Harper looks good right now. Very, very good form. The walks, the extra base hits, just the hits in general. He looks like one of the better bats on the slate at 6K, and he deserves to get love. You got guys like Didi Gregorius, really, really cheap. Rhys Hoskins might be back tonight. If not, you got a cheap Brad Miller. JT Romito is the best catching option on almost any slate he's on. Segura leading off. Yeah, they look good. They're affordable. I think there's enough offenses on this slate where you can use them in tournaments and you don't have to use them in cash games, but they do look like a better cash game option in my mind. Last but not least, and as far as Arizona goes against Suarez has impressed me. Ahmed might be leading off. He's 3K. Ketel Marte, I've always been a fan against the lefty, sure, but not really looking to full stack. Although Arizona does occasionally, well, every team does, but Arizona has random nights where they just go all the way off. I don't see it tonight, though. The Dodgers and the Pirates. So we've got Mitch White against Brubaker. I'm definitely interested in the Dodgers here. They kind of remind me of the White Sox against pitchers that have been good. Irvin's been better than Brubaker, though, and the Dodgers are even better than the White Sox. So that has me intrigued. Not getting a ton of love right now. I think they're definitely in play. Last night they ran out a pretty weak lineup. We'll see what they do tonight. Bellinger was hitting cleanup. They were popular as hell. I don't expect them to be as popular tonight as they were last night, even on a much smaller slate. Well, not much smaller, but a smaller slate, 2/3 the size. So, yeah, Brubaker has gotten lit up. I think just like the Astros, one of these games, the Dodgers are going to go all the way off, and it could easily be tonight. And I'll take my chances on a really good offense like this. And with hopefully, they got their best guys in the lineup. They did. Gavin Lux is back, which is nice to see. If he only had shortstop eligibility, that would suck, though. Oh, yeah, wow. So you got, we'll see if he's in the lineup again. Doubt it, but with Seager, Trey Turner, I like these guys. Justin Turner, they're expensive enough where if they're all in the lineup, that will keep their ownership down, which I like. So that is what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you're crushing the main slate or the early slate, excuse me. Yeah, I wanted to make this short and sweet to get it out to you guys. Got to do the write-up for the customers. Speaking of which, if you want more write-ups or write-ups in general, more videos, more me, more Ryan, any of that stuff, go check out the DFS 5 pack. We'd love to have you. Thanks again, guys. Appreciate you. Good luck tonight.